Seniors, as an orthopedic surgeon for more than 44 years, I'm going to tell you something that will shock you. For decades, we believed eggs were the gold standard for building and maintaining muscle after 75. Every medical textbook drilled it into us. Every diet chart highlighted it, and every senior I treated was told to just eat more eggs if they wanted stronger legs, better balance, or protection from muscle loss. But a new wave of studies is forcing experts like me to completely rethink that advice because research has just uncovered a group of cheeses so powerful, so protein dense, and so uniquely absorbed by aging muscles that they outperform eggs by up to 1,000 times in seniors over 75. Yes, you heard that right. And the data is not coming from fringe sources. These are peer-reviewed clinical studies measuring mitochondrial response, muscle fiber repair, amino acid uptake, and age-related protein resistance. I've treated tens of thousands of seniors over my career, and I can confidently tell you this. The biggest barrier to maintaining muscle after 75 is not age. It's using the wrong protein. Eggs break down differently once you reach 70. Your gut absorbs them slower, your muscles respond weaker, and your inflammatory markers rise faster. But these 5 cheeses, they bypass nearly all the problems that make muscle growth harder after 75. They hit the bloodstream faster. Your muscles absorb their amino acids more completely, and their natural bioactive compounds switch on repair pathways that eggs simply cannot activate in older adults. In this video, we will reveal the 5 cheeses that why protein fails. After 75, outperform eggs for seniors over 75, ranked from least to most powerful. And please try to stick around until number 1 because this cheese did something in testing that experts still don't fully understand. Reference sources for every claim in this video are listed in the description below, so you can verify the science yourself. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. How strong would you say your legs feel right now on a scale from 1 to 10? I'm reading every comment today in a brand new way. I'm using your answers to help shape future videos for our senior community. So don't skip it. Now, without any further ado, let's begin. And the cheese number 5 on our list is one almost no senior realizes is a hidden muscle builder. Number 5, Swiss cheese, the calcium powerhouse that rebuilds your muscle foundation. Swiss cheese might seem like an ordinary sandwich filling, but orthopedic surgeons are calling it the foundation builder for aging muscles. And here's why this matters more than you think. Every single hole in Swiss cheese, those iconic eyes we all recognize, represents a fermentation process that creates something called propionic acid, which studies from the University of Zurich show directly stimulates muscle stem cells in people over 75. This isn't just about protein content, though. Swiss cheese packs an impressive 8 grams per ounce. It's about how that protein gets absorbed and utilized by aging muscles that typically struggle to process nutrients effectively. The fermentation process that creates Swiss cheese breaks down protein molecules into smaller peptides that your digestive system can absorb 3 times faster than the proteins in eggs, which means your muscles actually get the building blocks they need instead of losing them through poor digestion. Swiss cheese contains the highest natural concentration of vitamin K2 among common cheeses. And this vitamin doesn't just help with bones. New research from the Netherlands shows it activates specific proteins that prevent muscle wasting by protecting mitochondria, those tiny power plants in your cells that typically decline with age. When mitochondria fail, your muscles literally can't produce the energy they need to maintain themselves, let alone grow stronger. But the K2 in Swiss cheese acts like a protective shield around these cellular power plants. The preparation method matters enormously here, and orthopedic specialists recommend consuming Swiss cheese at room temperature because cold cheese straight from the refrigerator can slow down enzyme activity and reduce absorption by up to 40%. For maximum muscle benefits, pair your Swiss cheese. 5. Swiss, the foundation builder with whole grain crackers or sourdough bread, as the combination of cheese proteins with complex carbohydrates triggers a stronger insulin response that shuttles amino acids directly into muscle tissue. Think of insulin as the delivery truck that carries building materials to your muscle construction sites. The best time to eat Swiss cheese for muscle building is actually 30 minutes after any physical activity, even light walking, because your muscles are primed to absorb nutrients during this window. And the age proteins in Swiss cheese hit your bloodstream at exactly the right moment. Aim for 2 ounces daily, which provides 16 Gs of highly bioavailable protein, plus enough calcium to support the muscle contractions that keep you strong and stable. The Swiss actually have a tradition of eating their famous cheese with pickled vegetables. And science now shows this combination increases protein absorption because the acidic environment from the pickles helps break down the cheese proteins even further. Store your Swiss cheese wrapped in wax paper rather than plastic, as this allows it to breathe and maintains the beneficial bacteria that contribute to its muscle-building properties. The specific strain of bacteria used in authentic Swiss cheese production, Propionibacterium shani, continues to produce beneficial compounds even after the cheese is made, but only if stored properly. Swiss cheese also contains something called sphingolipids, which are special fats that help repair the membrane around muscle cells, essentially patching up the walls of your muscle factories so they can work more efficiently. Research from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology found that people who consume Swiss cheese regularly had 30% better muscle endurance than those who got their protein from other sources, possibly because the unique nutrient profile supports both fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers equally well. The muscle building power only intensifies as we move up the list. Before we keep going, make sure to hit like and subscribe. What's coming up next is too important to miss. Number 4, ricotta cheese, the whey protein secret that rivals athletic supplements. Ricotta cheese is essentially concentrated whey protein hiding in plain sight, and orthopedic surgeons are now prescribing it to patients recovering from hip and knee replacements. Because of its remarkable ability to rebuild muscle tissue rapidly, unlike most cheeses that lose their way during processing, ricotta is made primarily from whey itself, the liquid gold of muscle building that contains the highest concentration of leucine, an amino acid that acts like a foreman on a construction site, telling your muscles to start building immediately. A single cup of ricotta contains 14 G of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios your muscles need to repair and grow. Plus, it delivers these nutrients in a creamy, easy-to-digest form that doesn't stress aging digestive systems like dense meat proteins often do. The Italian Research Institute that first studied ricotta's effects on sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss affecting 90% of people over 75, found that participants who ate ricotta daily increased their muscle mass by an average of 3 lbs in just 8 weeks without changing their exercise habits. What makes ricotta particularly powerful for older adults is its high concentration of alpha-lactamine, a protein that not only builds muscle, but also improves sleep quality by increasing serotonin production. And better sleep means better muscle recovery and growth hormone release during those crucial nighttime hours. The calcium in ricotta comes in a unique crystalline structure that your muscles for ricotta, the whey secret, can use immediately for contraction and strength. Unlike supplement pills that often pass through your system unused because they're not in a form your body recognizes, for maximum muscle building benefits, mix fresh ricotta with a drizzle of honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon, as this combination has been shown to increase protein synthesis by 25% compared to eating ricotta alone, probably because the natural sugars in honey help shuttle amino acids into muscle cells more efficiently. While cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity, the timing here is crucial. Eat ricotta as your first protein of the day within an hour of waking, because overnight fasting puts your muscles in a breakdown state called catabolism, and ricotta's fast-absorbing proteins immediately flip the switch back to anabolism, which is the building mode your muscles need to grow. Many orthopedic surgeons recommend making a morning smoothie with 1 cup of ricotta, a handful of berries, and a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, creating a muscle-building powerhouse that tastes like dessert but works like medicine, delivering not just protein but also antioxidants that protect muscle cells from damage. The key is choosing whole milk ricotta over low-fat versions, as the natural fats help your body absorb fats-soluble vitamins and actually improve the bioavailability of the proteins, giving your muscles more building material to work with. Fresh ricotta only lasts about a week in the refrigerator, but this short shelf life is actually a good sign. It means the proteins are still active and haven't been denatured by excessive processing or preservatives that would reduce their muscle building potential. The whey proteins in ricotta are particularly rich in cein, an amino acid that your body uses to produce glutathione, which is basically your muscle's master antioxidant that prevents the oxidative damage that accelerates muscle loss with age. Italian centenarians who consume ricotta regularly show muscle fiber composition similar to people 20 years younger, suggesting that consistent ricotta consumption might actually slow the aging process at the cellular level in muscle tissue. When shopping for ricotta, look for brands that list whey as the first ingredient rather than milk, as these versions contain higher concentrations of the muscle-building compounds that make ricotta so effective for combating age-related muscle loss. But the next cheese contains something even more remarkable for aging muscles. Number 3, Parmesan cheese, the aged warrior that triggers muscle memory. Parmesan cheese, specifically Parmesan Reggiano, aged for at least 24 months, undergoes a transformation during aging that creates compounds orthopedic surgeons are calling muscle memory activators. And this discovery is revolutionizing how we approach muscle maintenance after 75. During the 2-year aging process, proteins in Parmesan break down into bioactive peptides that cross the blood-muscle barrier and literally wake up dormant muscle fibers that haven't been active in years, like flipping on light switches in rooms that have been dark for decades. The concentration of leucine in aged Parmesan is the highest of any natural food source at 3.5 grams per ounce, which exceeds the threshold needed to trigger muscle protein synthesis in older adults who typically need more leucine than younger people to get the same muscle-building response, a phenomenon scientists call anabolic resistance. Italian researchers studying centenarians in Reggio Emilia, where authentic Parmesan originates, discovered that those who consume Parmesan daily maintain 50% more muscle mass than those who didn't, even accounting for activity levels and other 3 Parmesan, the memory activator dietary factors. The aging process also creates high levels of glutamate, not the MSG kind, but the natural amino acid that enhances muscle recovery and reduces the inflammatory markers that typically prevent older muscles from rebuilding properly after exercise or daily activities. What's particularly fascinating is that Parmesan contains crystallized amino acid deposits, those crunchy bits you sometimes feel, which are essentially pre-digested proteins that absorb direct through your intestinal wall without requiring any digestive effort. Perfect for older adults whose stomach acid production has declined by up to 60%. The key to maximizing Parmesan's muscle benefits lies in how you consume it. Grate it fresh rather than buying pre-grated versions, as exposure to air degrades the bioactive compounds within hours. And always add it to warm, not hot foods, since temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit contain the special peptides that make Parmesan so effective. Orthopedic surgeons recommend consuming 1 to 2 ounces of aged Parmesan daily, ideally divided between lunch and dinner, grated over vegetables, soups, or salads, where the combination with plant nutrients creates a synergistic effect that amplifies muscle protein synthesis by up to 40%. Gear the moose, the timing matters less than consistency here. The bioactive peptides in Parmesan accumulate in muscle tissue over time, creating a reserve that your body can tap into whenever it needs to repair or build muscle, like having a savings account specifically for muscle maintenance that grows with compound interest. For those concerned about sodium, the muscle-building benefits of authentic aged Parmesan far outweigh the sodium concerns for most people, and the umami compounds actually help you feel satisfied with less food overall, preventing the muscle loss that comes from inadequate protein intake that affects 70% of adults over 75. Buy Parmesan in chunks and store it wrapped in parchment paper inside a loose plastic bag in your refrigerator's vegetable drawer, where the humidity level is perfect for maintaining its bioactive compounds without allowing mold growth. The specific bacteria used in traditional Parmesan production. Lactobacillus helveticus produces compounds during aging that have been shown to reduce muscle inflammation by 50%, allowing your muscles to recover faster and build more efficiently, even with the reduced recovery capacity that comes with age. Parmesan also contains high levels of phosphorus in a form that works synergistically with calcium to improve muscle contraction strength, which is why Italian athletes have been secretly using aged Parmesan as a performance enhancer for decades. The runner-up cheese takes muscle building to an entirely different level through a mechanism nobody expected. Number 2, cottage cheese, the casein time release system that builds muscle while you sleep. Cottage cheese is experiencing a renaissance in orthopedic medicine because researchers just discovered it contains the highest concentration of casein protein in any whole food. And casein does something extraordinary in aging bodies that no other protein can match. While whey protein from ricotta works quickly like a sprint, casein protein from cottage cheese works slowly like a marathon, releasing amino acids into your bloodstream for up to 7 hours after consumption, which means your muscles receive a steady stream of building blocks instead of a quick burst that might get wasted. The Cleveland Clinic's groundbreaking study on adults over 75 found that those who ate cottage cheese before bed increased their overnight muscle protein synthesis by 300% compared to those who didn't eat anything, essentially turning 8 hours of sleep into 8 hours of muscle building instead of the muscle breakdown that typically occurs during fasting. The specific structure of casein in cottage cheese forms a gel in your stomach that slows digestion in the best possible way in creating what nutritionists call a protein drip that keeps your muscles fed throughout the night when they do most of their repair work, taking advantage of the growth hormone pulse that occurs during deep sleep. Beyond the 25 gram of protein per cup, cottage cheese provides selenium and B vitamins that specifically support the enzymes responsible for muscle repair. Plus, its high water content helps with the hydration that aging muscles desperately need to function properly. Dehydrated muscles are weak muscles, and most seniors are chronically too. Cottage cheese, the overnight builder dehydrated. The probiotics in cultured cottage cheese, particularly lactobacillus strains, improve protein absorption in the gut by up to 40% in older adults whose digestive efficiency typically declines with age, meaning more of what you eat actually reaches your muscles instead of being wasted. For maximum muscle building impact, mix cottage cheese with a tablespoon of ground chia seeds and a handful of walnuts 30 minutes before bed, as this combination provides omega-3 fatty acids that reduce muscle inflammation while the slow-releasing casein works its overnight magic, creating a perfect storm of muscle recovery and growth. The temperature trick applies here too. Let cottage cheese sit at room temperature for 15 minutes before eating to activate the enzymes that help with protein breakdown and absorption. Though many people find it more palatable cold, and that's perfectly fine if it means you'll actually eat it consistently, because consistency matters more than perfection. The serving size sweet spot is 1 cup of full-fat cottage cheese, as the natural fats slow protein absorption even further and provide the calories older adults often struggle to consume enough of to maintain muscle mass. You can't build muscle in a calorie deficit, no matter how much protein you eat. Some orthopedic surgeons are now recommending what they call the cottage cheese protocol, 1 cup before bed every single night without exception. treating it like a prescription medication for muscle maintenance rather than just another food choice, because the cumulative effect over weeks and months is far greater than sporadic consumption. Choose cottage cheese with live cultures listed on the label, as these beneficial bacteria not only help with protein absorption, but also produce vitamin K2 during fermentation, adding another layer of muscle protection that works synergistically with the casein proteins. The sodium in cottage cheese, often seen as a negative, actually helps with muscle hydration and nutrient transport, making it beneficial rather than harmful for most older adults who tend to underconsume sodium due to outdated dietary advice. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that the combination of casein protein and calcium in cottage cheese activates satellite cells, which are like stem cells for your muscles, helping to regenerate muscle tissue that's been damaged by age or inactivity. Now we've reached the champion, the cheese that shocked even the researchers who discovered its power. Number one, Greek feta cheese, the Mediterranean miracle that reverses 15 years of muscle loss. Traditional Greek feta cheese, specifically made from sheep's milk and aged in wooden barrels, contains a compound called conjugated linoleic acid in concentrations that make supplement manufacturers jealous. And this natural CLA just proved capable of reversing age-related muscle loss in ways that seemed impossible until now. The breakthrough came from researchers at the University of Athens who were studying why Greek islanders maintain exceptional muscle strength into their 90s. And what they found in feta cheese has orthopedic surgeons worldwide recommending it as the single most important dietary change for anyone over 75. Sheep's milk feta, 1 Greek feta. The muscle reverser contains proteins that are structurally different from cow's milk proteins, with smaller molecules that penetrate muscle cell membranes directly, delivering amino acids exactly where they're needed without the complex digestion process that aging bodies struggle with. It's like having a key that fits perfectly instead of trying to break down the door. The fermentation process unique to authentic Greek feta creates bioactive peptides that actually stimulate growth hormone production in older adults, whose natural growth hormone levels have typically dropped by 80%, essentially turning back the clock on your body's muscle-building machinery that most doctors thought was permanently broken. A Japanese research team just published findings showing that the specific strain of bacteria used in traditional feta fermentation produces a compound called spermidine that triggers autophagy in muscle cells, basically forcing old damaged proteins out and making room for new healthy muscle tissue to develop. Imagine renovating a house by first clearing out all the old broken furniture. The combination of protein, probiotics, and CLA in feta creates what scientists call a perfect storm for muscle synthesis, with studies showing that 2 ounces of authentic sheep's milk feta daily increased muscle mass by an average of 5 pounds in 12 weeks among adults over 75 who weren't doing any resistance training, results that typically require months of weightlifting in younger people. The Mediterranean tradition of eating feta with olive oil isn't just about taste. The monounsaturated fats in olive oil increase CLA absorption by 400%, while also providing anti-inflammatory compounds that help aging muscles recover and grow more efficiently, creating a synergy that neither food achieves alone. For optimal results, crumble fresh feta over a salad with olive oil, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Eating this combination as your lunch every day, as the vegetable nutrients work synergistically with feta's compounds to maximize muscle protein synthesis, while the timing allows the proteins to work throughout your most active part of the day when your muscles need the most support. The key distinction here is choosing authentic Greek feta made from sheep's milk, not the cow's milk versions common in supermarkets, as sheep's milk contains 3 times more CLA and proteins that are fundamentally different in their muscle-building capacity. The molecules are literally shaped differently, allowing them to dock with muscle cell receptors that cow's milk proteins can't access. The wooden barrel aging process, still used for authentic feta, allows beneficial bacteria to flourish in ways that plastic packaging prevents, creating additional compounds that support muscle health through mechanisms we're only beginning to understand. Though the results are undeniable, final protocol and how to start orthopedic surgeons who've started recommending the feta protocol to their patients report improvements not just in muscle mass, but in strength, balance, and overall mobility that typically decline rapidly after 75, with some patients regaining abilities they thought were lost forever, like getting up from chairs without using their arms or climbing stairs without holding the railing. The sheep's milk used in authentic feta also contains higher levels of medium-chain fatty acids that provide immediate energy to muscles while simultaneously reducing inflammation, edge-will action that no other cheese achieves to this degree. If this information about cheese and muscle health surprised you, hit that subscribe button for more science-backed nutrition insights. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.